97.7 The Q and 98 Gold. It is Therapy Thursday with Dr. Nicki Monty. And it is therapy as we wrap up the year. How are you this morning?
I'm great. I'm stunned. It's the time has just flown by
Right?
as always.
Mhm.
And even the youngsters are saying that. I mean, the 20s or something.
Mhm.
Because I used to think that time actually accelerated. That was my the
Yeah,
very smart scientific
Mhm.
decision
right.
is time actually accelerated, but it actually doesn't. Is what I found out. It's just because it's a smaller portion of our lives. Like for a week for a 2-year-old is forever. A week for us is okay. Now we're back to the next week.
Mhm.
Wow.
And so we have each sliver of time is a smaller and smaller slither of the time we know, and
Mhm.
so that's why it feels so fast. But
Yeah.
yes, it's the end of another year, and what a monumental year it's been for us all, has it not?
Wow. I mean, so
It's the world's longest decade,
The world's longest decade in a
right.
year. Yeah. Oh
Well,
my God.
here we just saw this story in a poll of 2,000 Americans. 10% felt very good about 2025. 39% said it was okay. 19% said bad. 10% said it was awful. So 29% of people thought that 2025 was a bad.
We know who that 10% was that thought it was great, right?
I
I think it's a little smaller, actually.
I do, yeah.
For me personally,
Mhm.
uh, 2025 has been monumental and extraordinary. There was the birth of a grandbaby. There was the birth of my novel,
Mhm.
my memoir. I've done tons of media, and funnily enough, not didn't turn me into a household name, but it's been a very exciting year for me on a personal level. And of course, on a collective level, I've been a lot of the time, because it's a time where we really face our powerlessness, don't we? And powerlessness and grief, for instance, often go together. I've been talking a lot lately about grief in the holidays and how people handle that. How do they handle their sense of loss? Most
Mhm.
people don't handle it. They just sort of grin and bear it, or hide away, or get pissed off at everybody else who's having fun, or whatever, they or drink their way through it, or drug their way through it, or sex their way through it, or whatever they do.
Mhm.
But and I always talk about grief being a gift, because if we only have grief because we feel a lot, and that's great. We only grieve loss because
We
we
love.
had something that we lost,
Mhm.
and it's the something that's the
Yep.
great part,
Mhm.
and the loss shows us how important that was. But it's hard for people in the holidays, and money becomes a factor for most people. For the except for that little percentage that's having such a
Sure.
great time.
Yep.
And but people are worried. They're worried. We feel very, I think, in general, in the collective, there's a lot of sense of powerlessness. People are, there don't seem to be any rules anymore that we're used to.
Mhm.
And there's something great about that. I know in the long run, whatever the long run is, whether it's another year, another decade, or another century, I know in the long run that when we get shaken up, there will be great things coming out of that. It wakes us up. And there's been a lot of waking up this year. There was some, you know, somnambulism before that, but there was this wake up. So I want to encourage people to look at what they've learned this year about themselves in the world, about the world itself, if you dare to venture out, and how you can set I guess, an intention for the next year. How you can set an intention for the rest of this year, even. What is your intention? Not, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds, or, but really, what is a deeper intention? I know for me, I always want to get better at being less. I have a knee-jerk response to the computers.
Reactive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or to disappointment. If I feel somebody says they're going to do something and then they don't do it, I have to get a hold of myself.
Mhm.
And I've been having a little thing with a friend, and I woke up the other day at 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep over it. And that, is pretty rare for me. And in that particular way, so what I want for me, I want to continue to live more in grace about things. And, I think some people think grace is a thing, or serenity is no.
Doing nothing, right?
Well, they think it's like flatlining, but it's not.
Flatlining. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
for me, grace is very vivacious. Faith is vivacious.
Mhm.
Excitement is vivacious. Hurt is vivacious.
Mhm.
I love my own vivacity, and I love to live in that libidinous life flow. But I would like to do it with more grace and not get derailed. I
Mhm.
was pretty good this morning. I was having trouble getting on to the show,
Mhm.
and I could be seen and not heard. Better for me to be heard and not seen, frankly. And but I didn't get as upset. I got like, oh gosh, I don't want to spend the whole day trying to do a show
Right.
with
Right.
my favorite show people, but still, I mean, I have a day and planned.
So
And
sometimes when we meet and when we get done with the show, I think about it later and I go, okay, I really felt like we scratched the surface on some things, and sometimes we get I guess the best word I could think of is
Global, a
yeah,
global
like a
overview.
bigger thing, or so for folks that are feeling like they're hearing us say this, like, ooh, 2025 was hard. And I do like the idea that she's saying, like, I want to look at, maybe my vision for the year. What are things like, because I know like Stuck in the Story No More also has the Stuck in the Story No More workbook. What are some workbook things that people can do? Because I feel like sometimes we walk away and people are like, yeah, that was neat, and then they just go off with their day. But like when you've given me things to do, like this week, I want you to dot dot dot. What are some things that people can do that will help them to go, okay, I need to do this thing to get me set or
for the
centered
next
to
thing,
go
well,
into this new year?
yeah, that's a great question, a great way to language it. One of the things is that we, as we know, we always live in pattern. I mean, as the three of us know anyway,
Mhm.
we always live in pattern, and that we convince ourselves that a certain way of thinking, which inspires, that's a generous word, but a certain way of being and or doing, right? And is necessary. It's just the way I do it. It's just who I am, and this is what I do, and all these things. And one of the greatest intentions or processes to help you shift, because we all need some shifting in some way. We need to have a different attitude. For instance, as we say, an attitude of gratitude ain't bad, right? But how are we going to do that when we're so busy grousing or feeling overwhelmed or feeling sad or feeling, bankrupt or morally, emotionally, spiritually, and literally? What are we going to do about that? Well, the first thing to do is to understand self, because everything starts with well-being, right? Well-being leads to well-doing, and well-doing leads to a well world. But it all starts with each of us individually. So we have to catch our patterns. The first thing because we wanted to do the thing that I think is one of the best tricks in the world, which is contrary action, do exactly the opposite of what we usually do. So, but we can't do that if we don't know what we usually do or what we usually think. So even just spending a day, but I like a week of, and you can record this or take a note. What are the thoughts that you feel you hear going through your head most often? What do you hear? Oh, I can't possibly. Oh, I'm so tired. This will never be okay. You know what? I can't do it. Or whatever the things are. And sometimes they're very aggressive and sometimes they're subtle and oh, screw it. You know, whatever it is, start to notice what that sounds like in your brain. Just
Okay, can I get specific then? Because
yeah.
this literally happened to us yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad that I stopped and I said, I know that I'm doing this to myself and I'm tired of being stuck in the
Yeah.
I don't want to put my energy here, but this is how I see it. So we went up and back and Steve I'll start at the beginning and I'll just
Okay. Gotcha.
so we inform the community of a lot of things. So sometimes either people don't, and we love our clients. Like, let me first and foremost say, we love our clients. They're the reason we're here, right? Other than our listeners. So we want to do a great job of informing the community. We will volley up and back 9,500 times because in my book, the way I'm looking at it, someone hasn't professionally assumed nothing and told us what it is that they do, like the who, what, where, why, when, so that we can then inform people properly. And I'm like, I had breast cancer, if I want a donation for my, whatever it is, for my organization, I'm not going to go to Susan G. Komen Foundation and go, hey, yeah, can I have $10,000 because I want to do a project? Love me. I'm going to go the who, what, where, why, when. I'd like $10,000, 10 to 20,000. What I'm going to do is I got to buy all things pink. It's going to go to this demographic in this area and we'll promote it. Like, so that to me is normal instead of the, what do you do? Do this, say this. Why would I say that? What is this? Right. So I found my blood pressure going like off the charts because I'm like, we need a process for this, Steve, right now. And I got really mad because we're serious. We're to be valued. What we do counts. What we do matters. And then I went, okay, time out. Sidebar, we'll fix this later. But I'm doing it again where I'm getting sucked in like someone has got a personal vendetta against me because they didn't answer all the who, what, where, why in an email so that I can understand it and then move forward and do great stuff for them.
Uh-huh.
So then I
Okay.
said to Steve, this is happening more and more often with more and more people. Meanwhile, I have a bunch of stuff to do and we're working 12, 13, 14 hours, 6 days a week or 7
Okay.
days
So
a week.
what is your, we
So-
can
So
fix the other piece in
I
a sec.
figured this out. I did
Yeah.
figure this out because you said like, stop yourself, right? So I
Okay.
did go, okay, the common denominator is for some reason, the assumption is people do not value the work we do.
That's your assumption.
My assumption is that, okay, you are trying to drive me crazy because
Sure.
you just think I should do this thing and say this thing and stop our show and talk about this or talk about that. Like we should get on your program. And honestly, if you had any idea what I do for the first 13 hours of my day, starting at 3:00 in the morning, you would not proceed in this manner. And
So
then I realized
wait a minute.
I
So you
devalued.
feel what? You feel
Devalued.
devalued, underappreciated.
Yes.
There's some disrespect in there somehow.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Those are my favorite words. Like,
Those are
like
your favorite words?
absolutely. I always go, show some respect, which
Uh-huh.
probably means I'm not giving it either in some aspect. I don't know. But-
100%.
right.
So of course, this isn't quite, where I was going, but I love this because what happens is you make an assumption that first of all, anybody's thinking about you in particular, or they
Personal.
should be thinking about you different, and it's
Right.
personal. we know it is not. But also, you want to immediately look at the ways in which you're not respecting yourself, the ways in which you're devaluing yourself, the ways in which you are not setting yourself up for personal success. Because those are the things you're complaining about. They're not setting me up for success by giving me the information I need. They're not setting me up for being successful for them even. How don't they understand? No, they don't. If it's happening more and more, it means you guys aren't being clear about what you need. This is not complicated. If it's happening more and more, you guys aren't being complicated. You aren't being clear. And so you're being clear to yourself because you know what you mean, but you have to find another way to language it so they know what you mean. Right?
Okay, so that when I'm ready to flip my lid, right? And
Yes.
I'm going down, like my heart starts to palpitate. That's how I'm like, you know.
Mhm. So you
What-
stop. What do we do?
Okay.
You know
Yeah.
this. What do we do? You stop
Meditate.
and do what? Well,
Breathe.
you don't always have time. You have 13 hours of complaining to do. You have no time to meditate. You stop, you breathe.
What's your plan for today? Well, I've got 13 hours of complaining I got to
Right.
get in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get anything
I'm
else.
going to weave in work while I'm doing
Yeah.
that and discontent. And I
Right.
feel like I'm being disappointed all the time. I'm trying to be helpful. No one's appreciating this. And this is
Right.
so disrespectful. So, first of all, you take 3 breaths. It takes what? 1.5 seconds to take 3 breaths. I don't know. Maybe it takes 3 seconds. I'm not sure.
Whatever. Right. But I need to
You
deep breathe.
take 3 breaths and you go all the way down in your body. You don't shortchange yourself. All of this conversation is about how you're feeling shortchanged in your life. You're not getting the respect. You're not getting the quantity of this. It's not like big bucks come in and whatever it is, right? So there's
Right. I'm bashing my head into concrete, and I have for so long that I now it hurts, and I'm like,
your head
just
hurts.
triggers. Yeah, it just starts. I have like a
So
little wick left.
So
like,
I want to implore you. I want to implore everybody to start the day before you even get out of bed with 3 deep breaths, where you're really going down into your body. You're really, and as you let the breath out, you might try letting out whatever tension, like this is, I'm going to call this the amuse bouche of meditation. It's just a little, oh, that was tasty.
yeah, the
Right.
one biter.
Yeah. So you're going to just take in a few breaths, and then you get a little more sophisticated. You take in the breath and you couple it with an image, right? For you, this wouldn't be so good. I like a candle that's a light, but that's not going to be your thing. So maybe a camera opening or a blossom, a flower opening, right? Just an image. And you solidify that image inside of you so that that's your go-to, that's your habit. So right now, your habit, my habit is, screw me. I always say it like that. I'm like, what? What am I talking about? What the hell?
Well, from the moment I open my eyes, today is going to go by fast, and I have to do it with determination and energy, and make sure I accomplish everything or as much as I possibly can without getting
It's
hurt.
terrible. That's dreadful.
Wait,
I
just got up. What are you talking about?
When I was an actress, I learned that when people get bored, it's because everyone on stage is talking too fast. So when things go too fast, you slow it down. I don't have time to slow it down. Right. You absolutely do. You've convinced yourself that you have to speed your way through your life, and that is not true. What you need to do is be present to every minute of what you're doing, and what will get done will get done. You will be shocked to find out that more can get done in the space of a leisurely. You're not going to be leisurely, not to worry, but you're treating this moment like it just is forever. This moment is forever. We have forever together today. We have nothing else to do but be here together. And as I speak that way, I feel myself calming down. There's no hysteria, or hurry.
Okay,
I'm
so while you're talking to me like that, I'm tapping my foot uncontrollably, like I'm speaking to a
okay,
wall.
but now I want you to talk to me like that, though. You're
I don't even
listening.
know if I could do that because
Yes, you
my
can.
schedule is a mess. And I
No, you're not looking at your schedule. Where are you right now, Cheryl?
I am thinking about the gazillion things I have to get
Why?
accomplished.
Are you not listening to me?
Well, probably. I mean, yes, I am listening to you.
Okay. And what did you hear me say?
You said to slow it down, and that
I
if I
said,
slow it down, I actually have all the time in the world.
that's right.
And yeah,
And where are you right this minute, right this second? Don't think. Where are you right now? Don't think.
I'm thinking,
No,
you-
don't think. Where are you right now?
I don't know what to think.
Unfortunately, I can't because we're on the screen. I can't do what I want to do, which is I want to reach out and just take your hand. And that is what communication is supposed to feel like. It's supposed to feel like we're holding hands together. I'm inviting you to come towards me. But you resist coming towards because you're so busy tapping your foot and doing all the things. So the first thing I would do if I were you is dedicate yourself to the notion of not tapping your foot. So how do we do that? I have people moving their foot all the time, and or their leg or something. I did a TV thing recently, and she finally sent me the little clips and everything. I was appalled, first of all, at what was going on with my pants, but that's another story. But I was I was wearing jeans.
Isn't this
and they
whole
were
thing
all
about being seen and everything? Isn't it
no, I
wonderful?
know, but
Right?
the pants were all screwed. You know, my legs were crossed and the pants went up a little high, and the shoes. It was just not pretty. But anyway, forget that part. But the thing is, my foot was moving, and I was not pleased with myself. And it's moving in a gentle way, but it's still moving. The thing is, there's this thing about stillness that brings us into the center of ourselves. Even though I'm moving my hand, I'm doing it at a pace. I'm not like, I do that too.
Right.
Of course, you've seen me do that. But if you're still, you have the option and the opportunity to be present to this moment. There's nothing to do right now but be here with me. Nothing in the world to do. And if each of us does that, they be exactly where we are when we are. And then we go to the next moment and we do the next thing. After we finish, there'll be something else. But you be absolutely there for that. And by the end of the day, you will have noticed that you had accomplished all of these things. I mean, I had a very packed day yesterday. This time of year is very challenging for people. As a therapist, it's a super interesting time of year. There's a lot of pain and a lot of disaster and a lot of regret, and people are breaking up or tempted to break up, or alcoholics are getting drunker than ever, and then bitching about how their life is going and whatever. So it was a busy day in that way. And there was nothing to do but greet each conversation. There was nothing to do with that. And at the end of the day, I looked at my day and I went, that was a very fruitful day. Because I was in it. Because I was in the day. I'm not saying that happens every minute for me, but it happens more than it ever did before. Yes. If there's a good point about looking at ourselves. If you feel that your foot's just not moving with me, your foot's moving, right? This is you not wanting to be where you are. It's a neuro-linguistic programming, easy breezy softball.
Mhm.
I'm trying to run. So you ask yourself with honesty, you answer, what am I running from? And the answer to what am I running from is always about something in us. This has nothing
Right.
to do. It's always going to be
Right.
inside. you're running from. I'm running from the way I don't respect myself, or I'm running because I don't respect myself. Wait, if I sit still inside myself, I'm going to realize I'm not doing what I really want to do, or whatever it is you're going to realize. But from awareness comes the possibility of change. Okay, so here's an exact example of I move my feet all the time, right? Okay, what's contrary action?
Put your feet on the floor.
Put your feet on the floor. Precisely. Excellent. See how easily you did that? Are you moving your foot right now?
Mm-mm.
No. And you will find yourself calming down when you make that choice. So when you look at your thing and say, why are these people not doing what I've asked them to do? And it's happening more than once, so it's not just one person misunderstanding. Then you rewrite your questions to answer, to ask the question you really want answered. Or you give them an example. Could you give us this? This is an example. If I was wanting somebody if I was selling this radio station, what I would want people to, the why, how, whatever that list was, that wonderful list you breezed through, what would that look like? Make your own version of that and then use that as a sample to send them. I love that when people ask me for something. If they, Also, for me, when I have to represent myself, or I get to represent myself, if there's too many questions, I'm already mad. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not doing this. Is
right.
Yeah. Anyway, so look at what you say to yourself. No one respects me. No one respects me. No one respects me. Okay, I don't know if that's an actual sentence you say, but
it's exactly. It's not. It's not like I'm looking to get any award. It's just if we're having a conversation, right? If I represent you, let's say as a client on the air, whatever it is, I need to know when your sales are. How do you ignore 8 emails on that without me feeling disrespected? Like I'm trying to work.
It has nothing to do with you. Maybe they don't know how to answer that. Maybe you find another way to say, I understand this is sometimes maybe they're embarrassed about how their sales are, so they don't want to answer it because they don't have enough and they feel bad about that, but they don't know that's why they're not answering it, so make it easy for them. Whatever our intention is to improve your sales. We're excited to do that. So wherever you are now, just give us that one answer as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Whatever the thing is, you have to work with what their mental state is. You know why you need it. Tell them why,
Got it. Yeah, because my mind immediately goes to, like, Steve's favorite thing to say to me. He probably says it 17 million times a day. I mean, don't take it personally. It's not personal.
Because
and to me, it's all personal.
Right.
I don't even know.
That's the mantra of the year for you. It's not personal. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's not personal. It's not personal. It's not about me. And he can say that because he and I worked with that for quite a long time with him. Yeah. So it's not personal. It's very hard for people. It's this thing I talk about when people come in and they're so mad at their parents, as well they might be because they have had some lousy parents. And yet I try to help them understand it wasn't personal. But I want it to be personal. They're my parents. Well, that's
and how isn't it? Because if you're good enough, someone's going to answer you. I mean,
no, it has nothing to do with you being good enough. It has to do with the way they feel about themselves. And I don't know that this is important, so I'm not answering this, or I'm too embarrassed to answer this, or whatever. It's not you, Cheryl. Anyone asking them that question would get the same answer or non-answer. Anyone would get that. That's why it's not about you. It's not because you're asking the question.
Okay, so tell me, why do I feel like it is? Because if I could finally
decided, because that's your point of feeling importance. You think you're important enough to have it be about you. But you don't feel you're important enough. So you need to make it about you. And that's the crux of the matter.
So is that a
It's not
narcissist?
about you. People operate from their own issues. You're operating from your issue of a lack of importance, and that has followed you through your life. If your kid does something that it disappoints you, it's because you're not important enough. No, it's because they've got other priorities. It has nothing to do with you. People behave out of their own needs. They behave out of their own needs. I know you want it to be about you. The thing is, you have to make
that's your I disagree face.
No, it's really, I'm trying to like not just go, okay, and then and then move on. I'm not disagreeing. Like I
know, baby. I know. I'm not taking it personally, because this is a very hard conversation. It's a very hard.
It is.
Notion.
Okay.
And it's so freeing. If I got to describe an intention for you for 26, we come directly out of this conversation. In 26, I'm going to discover, I'm you saying this because I already know this about me. I'm going to discover how, except when I don't, but I'm going to discover, I'm going to deeply work with the idea. I'm just going to act as if I really believe, I'll start with that it's not personal, that people behave out of their own fears, hesitations, self-doubts, angers, and that behavior would happen to anyone working with them at this level about this thing. It's not Cheryl. They are doing what they're doing because they are doing what they're doing, and they do it everywhere. It's like the thing when you somebody who you say, oh, that girl, oh my goodness, she always, I've seen her 100 times cut people off, she what they're doing. No, she loves them until she doesn't, then she cuts them off. And we think to ourselves somewhere very quietly inside, that will never happen to me with her because I'm different. It will happen to you because that's her process and her procedure. It's not about you. You're not, quote, special enough to have her change her stripes or her spots. She has to want to do that. She has to stop her pattern. She has to do pattern interrupt. And in this case, your pattern interrupt is to stop believing that everything's about you because you don't feel like you're important enough in the world. So you're you're making the wrong things important and not the right things important. The things that are great and valuable about you, you want to brag inside yourself about those things. Your tenacity, your hard work, your ability to listen and have a good sense of humor, whatever the list is. Make that list for yourself. There's your Christmas present to you. Make the list of what's great about you and read that list out loud to yourself every single day. And go, no matter what, this is who I am. If I don't get the stats right, I don't get the stats right. I'll do the best I can with what they give me. But it's not about me.
That's a lot.
I know it's a lot, but it really is one thing. It's faith in self. And not being so easily, thrown over by. I had such a thing. I had a real thing that I had to speak up on. And I said to this vendor of mine, I said, I didn't know I had an expectation, but now I realize that the expectation I didn't know I had was not fulfilled. And I'm disappointed. They said, well, we think you've done very well and it's going very well. I said, I understand that you believe that. Mm-hmm. For me, I feel disappointed. And I'm kind of hurt, kind of angry because there wasn't enough information. I don't think I got enough information. The conversation didn't go that well, I'll be quiet. But It's not like they went, oh, well, let's give some of your money back to you, or let's work longer on this
Right.
project.
Mm-hmm.
No, they said, well, we think it went very well. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I did speak up about it. And I don't know how many people do that, but to me, that's emotional integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
so then at that point, what do you do with the anger that you had these expectations that weren't met?
I look at where I was wrong about my expectations, and I look at where I was right, and I take in the information, and the next time I go to work with somebody in a particular way, I ask better questions. And I say, okay, what did I learn? I got a lot out of that experience. I really did. I just
Mhm.
didn't get what I thought I was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I try to learn along the way. What am I learning from this experience? What did I learn from the death of my husband? What did I learn? I learned a lot. It wasn't, a walk in the park for 18 months, but I learned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So most of the time, I learn so much more from the things I don't plan and don't try to make go my way,
Mm-hmm.
and surprises. I have so many great surprises that happen in places I didn't know there were. Obviously, they're surprises.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggest for everybody, as we're going to the
As we
end,
head into the new year, yes.
we head into the new year, that you look at yourself and find your point of pressure. I might call it that. The place that it really pokes at our old wounds. And people hate to have that conversation. Yes, everybody's wounded, folks. It's just the way it is. Coming into life is a wounding. Life offers us lots of opportunities to work with our wounding, to answer our own needs. And it's not that, well, okay, I'll just reduce my expectations and have no expectations at all. Well, that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But it works to say, what is our part of this problem? The part, Cheryl, of your problem with this is how upset you are about it. Otherwise, it's really not a problem at all.
Right.
You just have to readdress it in a way that I suggested, just as a practical, because I'm a practical visionary, right? So I
Mhm.
suggested the practicality that you write that out. If you were your own client and you were writing that thing that you want your clients to write, you write it out for yourself in the station. See what it looks like. See how hard what you're asking is. See if there's another way to put it, and give an example when you send your request. For me, that's my learning style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, let's hope that we can all find ways to improve ourselves as we go into the new year. Because I
Mhm.
know I've got my own list of things. I'm sure everybody listening has their things, and that's why the idea of resolutions is kind of like falling off, and and resolutions is not really a
It's
thing,
not really a thing. It's just
but we
something we're
all
waiting to break.
right, but we all do want to find ways to improve ourselves. We all
Yes.
do. I do like to sit and write out goals for the new year. The hardest part about that is looking at the goals that I had for this year and seeing how many are unchecked. That's one of the hardest things about going to do that. But then you go down the list and look at the ones that are checked and go, okay, well, I did do these things. I
Yeah.
did get these things accomplished.
Well, I
Now,
will
what can I
tell
do to
you
make
that
it
the
different
more
in the new year?
negative we are about what we want, the more negative we go, oh, I'll never get that. Oh, I can't ask for that, and that's not going to happen. The universe is listening. Okay.
Mhm.
If that's what you believe, then that's what I'll fulfill.
Well, that's one of my things. Like when I heard you say that you were upset that you had expectations that you didn't even realize. My hardest thing is sharing and communicating what my expectations are, which is
Yeah.
really a bad quality as the owner, as the boss. Like that's
Right.
one of my biggest weaknesses is not
Right.
sharing and deciding that I don't need expectation. Like my expectations aren't worthy or aren't important. Like that's
Well, that's your desires are not worthy. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
my issues that I have to work through.
Yeah.
For is
I
that
know
me
that
asking for it isn't important. Like I shouldn't
Well,
ask for it.
I used to have, when I had employees, I would, more employees and stuff. I, uh, I would say, oh, just be creative. Go do that.
Mhm.
Do that. But really, I had a kind of an idea in my mind. And of course, what they did never looked like my idea in the mind,
Mhm.
so that was not even fair to them a little bit,
Sure.
So
Mhm.
I could say, this is an idea I have. Can you improve on it? That's
Mhm.
different,
Yeah.
right? That's giving them an example.
Mhm. Well,
So
some of my issue is I want to give everybody the freedom that I always wanted as an employee. The problem is that not every employee is me. They don't
that's
think the
right.
way I do. They don't think that
No,
this might not be for them. Their plus might be this and this thing. And once I
yeah.
give them that direction, they can flourish. And but
Well, it's like the thing is, not everybody's an entrepreneur. That's
right.
just what it is.
Mhm.
People want structure that's already there, and they want to rebel within the structure or follow the structure or whatever they want to do, but they don't want to take it on themselves. And
Right.
that's okay. That is that we need people in every area and in every way, right? Not everybody's creative and not everybody's logistical.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so, you
No
just
doubt.
find what you need.
Yep. No
But
doubt. Well,
you need to get better at self-respect,
yeah.
Steve, as
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. We all have our things. So
Also, by the way, I want to say, Cheryl, one more. Sorry, I want to say one more thing. You might ask them what they need to give you what you need.
Got it.
What do you need right now how can I facilitate the answering of these questions for you? Do you want a conversation about them? Maybe email isn't the way,
Mhm.
Right.
you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what made me think when you said you get a list of too many questions and it makes you mad. Like,
Oh,
so how do we, how do we combat that? How do,
some of the podcasters like that I've worked with, they have the book. They can either read the book or not read the book, but they get the book or they get the thing and they get the summary, get the press thing and they get the thing. And then they say to me, um, write about a trauma that you've overcome in detail. I'm like, read the book. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
I did
Rewriting the book for
I
this
did write
half
that. I
an
did
hour
Right.
podcast.
Right.
I did write that. It's pages 34 through 127.
Right.
That's where
Right.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you want me to do all your work for you. I'm not going to do that. I've done all my work for me. And
Well, and
Oh,
so
now you did it. That's exactly what I think
yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing is
Yeah.
that I think, and this is now me as someone who's done this forever, it's why Cheryl comes into interviews very well, because some interviewers have a genuine curiosity.
Yes.
And if they listen, their
Yes.
curiosity will carry the interview through and through.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely true.
so and and I have done this so long that I know I could open up your book, go here, and here before an interview. Let's say I didn't know you and I was doing a show today and I'm like, oh, I got to set up for that. I could grab 5 pages, and out of those 5 pages, I'd probably use one and it would take us through a half an hour. It wouldn't be an
Absolutely.
issue, because if I learned early on, if I listen, talk about being present. If I'm not screwing around or if my brain's only in the interview,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
I've had some wonderful interviews with celebrities that will say at the end, like, they'll do these, like, they used to do these things where they'd go on radio shows and we'd each get 10 minutes and you'd go through like 20 radio shows in the morning. And they would say, this was the only one that didn't have the same questions. Because I'm
Right.
like, well, because we could all talk about the TV show you did 20 years ago, but I want to know, like, this is my one chance to talk with someone that I watched.
I had this interview this last week she was wonderful. We had such a good time. And she had read the book. She cried. She laughed. She was over the moon about it. She said it was the most brilliant. I mean, it was very flattering. But she has sent me 11 questions, right? She said, these are 11 points I want to touch. And I looked at these things and I said to her right away, I said, honey, This is not going to happen.
Right.
We could
Right,
do
a
we're gonna be
6-hour
talking
interview,
for-
yeah.
Why don't we
Yeah.
right now plan a series? She said, that's a great idea. We
Right?
planned a series because I said, you're so enthusiastic, which is so heartwarming for me. And thank you so much for being so diligent. And I said, but she didn't know me, you know, but even someone who's not as talkative of me, those 11 questions were profound. It is not possible to do in 45 minutes. You
Right.
can't.
Right. Right. No doubt. Yep. So, well, as we wrap up, of course, we can't cover everybody's issues all in each one, but if you would like some more information, you can go to stucknomore.com. Of course, you can get the books at stucknomore.com/books. You could see some of the help that Dr. Nicki has there
You can
available
also
to you.
DM us if you have any questions or
Absolutely.
things you're trying to
Please.
work through.
We were joking this
Mhm.
morning about maybe in the new year we should do a group therapy Thursday where we get some folks on the recording with us and do some
Would be
questions.
so great.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
How
it'd be a
great would
blast.
that
So,
be?
so if you'd like to be a part of that, you can just message us through any of the Facebook pages, and we'll get you involved in that. We'll hook you up. We do them on Tuesday morning, so we can get you in there and chit chat and get have you talk with Dr. Nicki a bit. It would be wonderful. So, Dr. Nicki, have a wonderful Christmas, holiday season, New Year, all of it.
Loving you.
So,
These are
yes.
you.
Yes, back at you. Yes, it's
You
please.
guys have been so generous with me, and I'm so grateful for you.
Well, right back
You-
at you.
yes.
We love having you on, and it's just it's so not to be funny. It's very therapeutic as well. So so it's so
That is funny.
yes. So all right. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays or sad holidays or whatever kind of holidays you guys want to have. Not, I mean, you and the listening audience.
Yes.
You know, just find one thing that you hear yourself saying to yourself over and over again that you know is an undermining thing that is not making you feel better, and see if you can go in the opposite. Oh, you're such a jerk. You know, oh, you're so great. And I don't care if you believe it when you first start saying it, try it anyway.
Push it.
Because you've talked yourself into you're such a jerk. That's not true either.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
I agree.
All
I
right.
agree. Yeah.
Have
All
a
right.
wonderful end of the year. And I love you guys. And I'll see you next year.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.